What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV with your host, Dano, and we have a super special episode today. We have Dr. James Cooley in the building, man. He's about to drop some golden nuggets for us today, so grab your pens, grab in your paper, and Dr. James, what do you have to say to everybody before we get started today?
First of all, I want everybody to know that I'm a big fan of yours, man. I'm a big fan, especially your episode when you take it to the street. Man, it's some funny episodes, so I'm a big fan. Secondly, I want to say that regardless what anybody might tell you out there as you are approaching your journey, always know that you have to always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. Be big is not in size. It's not in stature. It's in heart. It's in mind, body, and soul. So I tell you what, sit back with me and Dano. Dano is getting ready to do it.
I love it. I love it. So stick around, like, share, do whatever you got to do to raise your vibrations because it's time for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Takes a village about keeping our families together.
God bless this organization.
Through the valley of the shadow of finale, I will never feel no fear. First the reaper gotta catch me. I don't care who got the next crown. I'm the true and living right now. Thought you lived to see my last breath? Go ahead and put your best down. Run with the wolves and we unify. Hungry enough to eat you alive. We never breaking formation. I live and die for this crew of mine. Been to the bottom, dehumanized. Found my divinity through the fire. Pushed through it all and I stood tall. That's cause a legend can never die.
Back, everybody, to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano. I'm super hyped for this episode because my guy James, man, he is so full of great energy and so many pieces of golden nuggets of wisdom. Like I said, make sure you got everything because it's time to really learn and really dive deep into Dr. James and all of his great stories and amazing experiences. I mean, it was so hard. When he sent me his bio, it was about this long. I can't even fit it on the screen. But I'm just really excited for this. But before we bring Dr. James on, we got to do a few things. I already know we got to do. Number one, we got to do the book of affirmations for happiness. And then we're actually going to do a little bit of a throwback because it's not really a throwback, but we're going to play our street segments because I know Dr. James loves them so much. And I know my positivity posse, I know you guys love them so much. And like I said, I took a little bit of a hiatus because, you know, the cold weather here in Philly, it's just been too cold and there's not that many people out there on the street. So it's kind of hard to do it during the winter time or the winter season. But don't worry because for season 4, for the times that maybe, it's too cold and I can't go outside, but the weather is breaking. Or we have so many other things that are going to be in place of that street segment, but it's been way too long and we got to play another one just to remind you guys what it's like, because I have so much fun doing them. And like I said, there's so many other factors that go into it, but we're just going to play that for you. And we're going to do the affirmations for today. But before we go into that, you guys already know, maybe it might be your first time watching. You may not know. Whether you do know, whether you don't know, here it is. You need to drop a hashtag positivity posse. So I know you guys are rocking with this great content and you're just raising your vibration, because as we all know, once our vibrations are high, great things start to happen to us in our life as well. So that's why we got to do it. And if you don't believe me, just try it and you'll see the difference in your life as well. Here it is. David Ramos, thank you so much. Raise your vibration. Yes, 100%. Positivity posse, thank you. Yes, mind, body, and soul. Dr. James hit it right on the head when he said that earlier. It's just been so many amazing things right there. So, like I said, we have a lot to talk about in such little time. So let's just get started. And we're going to open up to our page in the Positive Affirmations book. And I feel like we had this one before, but we're going to do it again because that's what's coming up for right now. Here it is. Happiness begins with me. I no longer need to look to other people, outer circumstances, or arbitrary milestones in order to start feeling better. Happiness is a personal choice that begins with a simple intention. I am taking full responsibility for my happiness and well-being starting now. And if that resonated with you, let me know in the chat. Drop like a fire emoji or something that I know that it resonated with you. What I really like about this one is happiness is an inside job. There's nothing that you can look to the outside to help you gain true happiness. Because yes, if you get $15,000 or if you get a new car, these material items, yes, they're good and they're good for only a moment's time. And even with that, if you get a new car 6 months down the line, you're just probably going to think, hey, well, this is my car now, because you get used to it. So understand that happiness is something that goes on with inside of you. And once it turns and you make that shift on the inner world, I'm telling you, everything on the outer world will start to reflect that. So you'll have an abundance of cars, or you'll have an abundance of money, or you'll have abundance of positive relationships. And I can say for me, Dr. James has been one of those people, because once I started to work on myself on the inside, these great people that you do meet, and especially the Positivity Posse as well, these are just all reflections of the great changes that goes on with inside of you. So there it is. And another thing as well is making that simple intention. That's the first thing you should do when you wake up, because I'm not trying to say this as you should do this. I do it. And because I do it and I've seen the change that it's made, this is just my recommendation. Number one, first thing you do in the morning, put on a positive video on YouTube for motivation, or just give thanks that we are able to see another day and we have another day, another however long it may be, 24 hours, or just another chance, another moment to capture and to accomplish everything we came on this earth to do. Another chance to, live out your dreams, or another chance to impact another person's life. There's so many reasons to be grateful. So let's start making that the intention for the day, starting off with that energy, because if you start off with that energy, it's just going to compound throughout the day with all of the great news and great things that will happen to you. So I just love that. And, there's so many things to be grateful about, whether it's family, friends. I can go on and on. That can be a forever thing. But let's start out with that. Let's make that the intention throughout the day. So that is the positive affirmation for today. Let it go with you. Run with it. Feel great. And now it's time to do a weekly dose of Dano street segment. I haven't played one of these in a while. I'm so happy, and I can't wait to start. Well, let me say I can't wait, because I can wait, but I'm very, very excited to get started with doing these again, because they're so much fun to make, so much fun to edit, and you guys love them as well. So let's see. Let's pick one. We're gonna pick. I don't even remember which one this is. Yeah, I don't remember which one this is, but we're gonna do it. Here it is. Let me know your comments and let me know your answer to the question as well. And here it is, the street segment for you guys. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dano, television show host of Weekly Dose of Dano TV, and you already know what we're doing for today. We're going around the streets of Philly, asking everybody the questions that you need the answers to. Let's get it. Sir, what's your name?
I'm Joe.
Joe, if there's one thing in this world that you want more of besides money, what would it be?
Oh, man, more time to spend, like, I don't know, hanging out with my dog at the dog park, like things like that, you know, just like nice, relaxing things.
Okay. And why do you want more relaxing things in your life?
I don't know. I got anxiety, so sometimes it helps just to be outdoors. You know, I'm a software engineer, so I spend a lot of time at the computer.
So what's your name?
Brianna.
Besides money, what is one thing in your life that you want more of?
Honesty.
And why did you choose honesty as your answer?
Wow. I just think that we hide behind our phones. We hide behind a lot of things. We've been home for a while. And I think that allowed us to kind of like manipulate what exactly we want. And I think if people were just more honest, then maybe we would get more out of life, friendships, and I guess less hardship. You know, it's been tough the past couple years with people not being as honest.
What's your name, miss?
Katie.
Besides money, if there's one more thing that you wanted more of in your life, what would it be?
Oh gosh, I have a lot. I'm pretty happy. I guess love in a weird way. Yeah. We're getting 28 years old. We're both single. All of our friends are like tying down, which feels a little intense. A lot of babies, engagements. But I guess that, but overall I'm pretty happy.
Awesome. And why did you choose love? Was it because your friends are tying down and doing it, or is it because you want it for yourself?
I want it for myself. I love love. I'm a Pisces, so I love love.
What's your name, sir?
Tom.
Besides money, if there's one thing that you want more of in your life, what would it be?
I value my time. I think time is the most valuable currency to me.
And why would you say time, and why is it the most valuable currency to you?
Because I think time is where you spend with your loved ones, friends. I mean, you can have all the money in the world, but I mean, if you got no time to spend it, then it doesn't really matter, right?
And I see that you love basketball too, so we're time to play, right?
I mean, I haven't played in a while. If you've been watching me, you seem pretty trash.
He was sinking all the buckets. What's your name, sir?
It's Harrison.
Besides money, what's one thing that you want more of in your life?
Well, I've always thought that I think the most valuable thing a person can give somebody else is their time and attention.
Why do you say time and attention?
Because I think if you have a lot of money, it's maybe an easy thing to give other people, and it's a sort of a way of showing some level of care. Sorry, I got other people showing up for class, but it's the kind of thing that I think sometimes is just a little scarce, and it's something that I think promotes more understanding and allows people to just sort of come together and be happier. I think everybody wants to just be heard and have the attention of the people they love and care about and admire.
There it is. That was the question for the day, the Dano segment on the street. I love doing those, and I can't wait for the weather to start breaking so we can start doing those again for you guys. Now, answer the question as well. If you guys are watching live or watching all the replay, if there's something that you could have more of besides money, what would it be? Let me know your answers as well. I think all of those answers were fire as well. Now, one more thing before we bring Dr. James on, because I see him itching back there. He's ready to get on the show. He's ready to share his lifetime achievements. He's going to be talking about that, his Presidential Lifetime Achievement Awards, all the 23 years of his service in the military, so many great things. But before we get to that, here it is. I just want to let you guys know one more time about the Epic Wrestling Association Honor and Glory that's going on this Saturday, the 25th. Doors open at 4 o'clock. We're going to have so many great people there. We're going to have Mir Pesos and Mir Fontaine. They're going to be performing because it is a live pro wrestling show and concert. I'm going to be your MC. I'm going to be your ring announcer, play-by-play, just positive energy. Whatever you want me to be, I'll be it for that day. We're doing it all for the kids. So like I said, show up. It's $15 for adults. Everybody under 16 gets in free because this is really about bringing families together and doing things for the kids in order to give them another outlet to stop, being on the streets and, acting like fools, man. Because I'll give you one quick story. I was playing basketball the other day in Camden, and man, when I tell you these kids were acting up, they took water bottles and were just launching them across the way while other people were playing, and they were just acting up. So when I saw that, I'm like, man, we really need to have this event, and we really need the kids to come out to see that they can channel that energy that they have within themselves. They don't have to use it for bad or for harmful purposes. They can take it and use it for good as well. So, it's a great, going to be a great time, and I'm super excited for it. And now, it is time to bring on Dr. James Cooley, man. I'm really excited for this episode. Guys, drop a fire emoji, drop a, hashtag welcome James, something to appreciate James's time and to get him ready for the show. Dr. James. Dr. James, man, what are you doing back there? Stop reading your Lifetime Achievement Award. It's time to get on the show. How you doing today, Dr. James?
Dano, man, I'm doing just fine. How you doing, my young brother?
Oh, man, I'm so excited. Even better now that we're live and that you're here in the building, sharing your energy, sharing your experiences. Because, man, like I said earlier, when I was looking at your bio, it was about this long. Like I couldn't even fit it on the screen. So I had to take my time and due diligence to go through it all. But man, when I tell you everything that you have on there is very impactful and very important, it's hard to pick out what we're going to be talking about for today. But let's get started with the question for today. And it's going to be the same question that you saw on the street segment. Dr. James, if there's one thing that you had more of besides money, what would it be?
Time. Time, because as you already know, Dano, that we only have 24 hours in a day, 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 26,000 seconds or something like that. And, I'm talking about, depending on what you're doing, if you act it, time become an essence, because you cannot be able to give everybody the amount of time for the issues or concerns or whatever they might be having, or just spending time with the family, because you got to rest sometime.
Yeah, I hear that. And it's so hard. I mean, it is hard. I can use that word. It's because you have so many things that seem as though that they take priority. Like, you got to work and you got to go to the gym and you got to eat healthy meals. And it really can become a lot if you don't prioritize. So, Dr. James, let's talk about that for a little bit. As far as, prioritizing your day, what advice do you have to give to people to make sure that, they're maximizing their time in a day?
Well, I mean, I tell you, you mentioned a few things that are very, very important. Gym time is so important. So first of all, you have to be motivated and dedicated, and you have to be creative. And let me say that again. I call that my MDC theory.
Okay.
Motivated, dedicated, and creative. Motivated that whatever you got planned for that day or that week, because we have short term, midterm, long-term plans. And if you put it in a 24-hour schedule, you have to identify the things that are important to you that day. And you have to be able to fluctuate your time, I believe, to be able to achieve those things for that day. Daniel, one thing that I want our audience to understand is that you cannot put 30 hours or 48 hours in a 24-hour schedule and expect to achieve success, because then you half doing everything. And so I try to plan out when I first wake up. Actually, I tell you what, Daniel, when I'm getting ready to go to sleep, I try to plan every minute, every day for the upcoming morning, to make sure that I'm able to, first of all, I have to feel and achieve success. Otherwise, I'm just procrastinating. I'm doing all these other type of things. So schedule is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I love it.
Schedule goals. So that's how I do things. And guess what? Sometimes I don't always accomplish everything, and I have to. And when time is running out, because there are going to be obstacles where you have to move some things around, you just have to take some of the things that's not that important on achieving today and kind of push those off to tomorrow.
I agree. And that's so important. One of the things that I can give people out there, which is super important, and it may be one of the hardest things you do, but you need to do a time audit and basically go about 3 days and figure out what you're spending your time on. I mean, really sit down and be honest with yourself, because you'll see that, instead of watching an hour on Netflix and 3 hours on social media, you can be allocating that time for something else. And usually, I know for me, there's some points in a day, like usually around 3 o'clock is where I start to get tired. I'm like, man, I've been up so early, I've been getting a lot done, and this is where I start to crash. So, with that time audit, try to, drink some coffee or do some meditation or do something to boost, or maybe go to the gym at that time in order to boost your energy. And one thing as well, Dr. James, you just brought this up. You didn't mention anything about, being negative or being bitter or being a hater. We don't got time for that in a day. So eliminate that as well. Make sure you're not being in other people's business. Focus on yourself. Focus on what you got to do to make sure that it is the best that we can be. And Dr. James, let's get into your life story now, because there's so much. Like I know I keep saying it, and I sound like a broken record, but it's very true. Let's start in the very beginning. And you served 23 years in the military, because you first started out as a sailor, and then you ranked up all the way to Master Chief Petty Officer. And you served for 23 years. And I know we could talk about that, because that could be a whole episode of itself. But talk about the transition period. How hard was it to, be spend 23 years in the military and transfer back to civilian life, so to speak?
Okay, so let me correct you on a couple of things.
All right, let me hear it.
Yes, I promoted to Master Chief Petty Officer, which is E9. But as soon as I promoted to that, I went to the officer ranks. So I retired as a 04, which is like 15 pay grades higher than the E9.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so that was about 10, 11. But I wanted to correct that one. But what's that like? You saying transitioning from the military to the civilian world? Well, I mean, to me, it wasn't that difficult for me to do the transition, because I transitioned from the military, which I was at the Pentagon, to the civilian world. But the job I transferred into put me right back in the Pentagon. I mean, so it's the life that I was used to already. However, without the military protocols and all of the things that go with that. And so my transition was not that difficult. However, being able to understand your new standing in that is that you're no longer a military officer now. You're a civilian with a lot more rank than your military rank was, and being able to adjust, because now you're dealing with the higher power. I'm talking about the president office, secretary, all of these other type of things. Making that adjustment from a military perspective to a civilian perspective, now that takes some time. And also getting out the mindset. The mindset is important. That I don't have to, just wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning or get up and go run and all that type of stuff. But you still have to have timeline. You have to adjust your schedule based on your job.
Yeah.
And so to answer your question, I retired out of DC, Washington, DC, the Pentagon. And a week later, I was back like 2 offices down from where I was at.
Oh, wow. So the same place and almost the same exact office. I mean, yeah, that's I mean,
Same, but
when you have that time.
but the money was different.
Yeah.
The money was like 2-3 times more.
Yeah.
I mean, so and that's what your experience if you have a successful career, not just military, but anything you do as you progress, as you change. It should always be a progression in everything that you do. Mindset, your thought process, and also compensation.
Yeah, and like I said, it's great because you have all that free time, and it's like you said, it's good that you have those mindset, heart set, soul set is the way that I say it, all in place to make sure that you're living that life at the very best level that you can. Now, Dr. James, you received 2 presidential lifetime achievements, correct? One from Obama and one from Bush. Can you talk a little bit about that, and what did it mean to you when you received those awards?
Actually, and I know this is going to sound like I had a very successful career, very successful life. I received 3. 2 lifetime achievements, and also received the Point of Light from our President Bush. So it all depends on your mindset and what's in your heart. I got a servant heart. A servant, meaning that it's service before self, and you do things without even thinking about the rewards that's going to come back. And my mindset ain't never been about if I do this, I'm going to get this or do that. I'm going to do that. It's just my mindset is, and I think this with a servant mindset, you do things because it's coming from the heart, and you don't know who's watching or who paying attention or anything like that. So to talk about the presidential award last year, I received the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, which is the highest award that you can get in the United States, in America. I received that from President Biden and Kamala Harris. Last week, I received another Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. Again, the highest you can get this time in America. Last week, to be exact, haven't been in a week yet.
Wow.
This one came from President Obama. And it's all about your body of work, your mind, body, and soul, your contribution to your communities, society, America. And it's contribution on giving, not expecting anything in return.
I love that.
Many times our mindset is like, if I do this, this is going to happen, or this could happen. Why don't you? If your heart said do it, and don't worry about anything, because you never know, Dano. You never know who's watching you. You never know who is.
Yeah.
And so that's how I see it.
I want to touch about that point too, because that's actually how we connect. When you said that you're not really sure who's watching, I remember when we first connected. You actually have a show as well on E50, the James Cooley show, and the It's Your Life radio. And then when we were in there, you were like, Dano, I know you, man. I'm a big fan of your work. And I was like, who the heck is James Cooley? But it's like you said, when you are always doing your best, and you just never know who's watching, and that person that's watching, that is watching everything that you're doing, and even the higher power, I believe that they're always watching to make sure you're doing the right things. You just never know what could possibly happen, and that's why you always got to give your all, and you got to be big with that exact mindset. 100%. I love that. And I have a question for you. It's a funny question. Have you ever been told that you kind of, the way that you talk reminds me of like Charles Barkley? Have you ever heard that before from anybody?
Never Charles Barkley, but Magic Johnson and all them. But not Charles Barkley.
Yeah. Yeah, because as you were saying it, I was like, man, I just feel it's funny. That's what I think. So there you go. That's the first time
you said Charles Barkley because he was a Philadelphia legend. That's
yeah. There you go. And we claim it. We got Dr. James Cooley, a Tennessee legend over here as well. So Dr. James, man, like I said, out of all the things that you've done, with receiving your awards and serving in the military and having your not-profit, which we're going to talk more about that, a big focus that you have is doing everything for the kids and kind of building up the youth of America to make sure that, they have everything that they need and that they're the future leaders and that they're built up with their confidence and everything. There's so many different directions that you could have gone. So why is that so important for you to build the youth of America?
Well, it starts with my latest book that I released. So Country Boy, City Boy Journey Ain't Over Yet, which is on audiobook. It's on hard copy, soft copy. It's on every major platform. And it tells the story of a young boy, that's 6 years old, that grew up in the project hood for a little bit, born to a mother who had 10 kids by 6 different fathers, and she was never married.
Wow.
And she was stuck with taking care or the kids, because every parent want their kids or they want their offsprings to be the best that they can.
Mhm.
And so in my case, my mom had to make a decision out of her 10 kids to send 2 away because she couldn't take care of all of us.
Mhm.
So she chose myself and my brother Jerry. I'm number 7 out of 10, and he's number 6.
Oh wow.
Out of all 10, she said, "You 2 are going to Alabama." And without having a father figure around, without having any role models around, without having any money, without having anything, you learn to appreciate what love is, because you go from nothing in Tennessee, the project, all this other type of stuff, game, boom, boom, boom. And then they send you to Alabama, which they don't even have running water in the house. They got an outdoor toilet. You have to run outside and catch your food.
Yo.
It goes from this is what in Tennessee we was considered, poor, super poor, but rich compared to where I went to. And I had to endure these things. And I say, gotta be other kids, other young. When I became an officer, when I military, all that other type of stuff, I said, it have to be some other young kids or youth that are going through things that I went through without having a positive role model. So I decided to create what we call the Options, Opportunity / the Choice Program, which is the J.C. Cooley Foundation, to help mentor, to help guide, to help create foundations for these at risk, is what they call cause, at risk kids or people or kids or young adults that never had a chance, to let them know that you was brought here for a purpose, and your purpose is as you grow, is you're going to figure that one out, but you are going to be one of the future leaders of tomorrow. And so that's what our program is all about, is making sure that we identify our future leaders tomorrow. And we give away scholarships and give away everything for that. So
I love it.
So that's how that got started. I went through it. I did the suffering or whatever you might want to call it, but we turned out okay.
Yeah, look, I give you your applause for that one. What's really great is that you took all of those, trials and things that kind of may have been working against you, and you used that as fuel, because number one, you probably developed really tough skin to be able to grow up in conditions like that. You know that you can survive everything, anything and everything that gets thrown your way. And then number two, you see what you don't want to become in your life. Because, I grew up in the hood as well. Well, not as well, because it sounds like the hood was a little bit better, and not better because you don't want to compare. But, I had running water and things like that. But it just shows you what you don't want to become and the type of lifestyle that you don't want. So I commend you for that. We're actually going to take a quick commercial break because we are halfway through the episode. Don't go anywhere. Like, share, do whatever you got to do, like I say, all the time, to raise your vibrations. And we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. So, everybody, that was just a quick word from our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors for sponsoring the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. And I also want to give one more shout out that they didn't have the video, but I want to give a special shout out to the Nimitz Palace restaurant, the fine Indian cuisine. Man, the food was so good. Literally went yesterday and I went today. So, back to back days. Man, if you are in the Echelon area or surrounding areas, go over there and check them out, and you will not be disappointed. Now, Dr. James, it's time to get back to it. And I want to talk about briefly about something that you just said and how you appreciate love and why it's so important to you. And I remember when I was on your show, you have Michelle Cooley, your wife, which is also your co-host on the show. Can you talk about how marriage has helped you in the concept of love, helping you through everything that you have accomplished in your life?
Well, first of all, let's talk about Dr. Michelle Cooley, my wife. I believe that you have to be equally yoked, and meaning that you have to make sure you choose. And a lot of times we don't always do that. Choose the right soulmate, not just how a person look or whatever they all that other type of stuff. They have to be, I believe, entwined with your vision, understanding, and your focus. Uh, because if it's not like that, you're gonna have some problems. And it's always going to be some problems in the beginning, I believe. But what makes us have I would say, a healthy, happy marriage is this thing called respect. Respect meaning that you might not be alike in a lot of different ways. So opposite normally attract. Long as you're not too of opposite.
Yeah.
Because you have to find common ground is what we call in a relationship. And if you're gonna be married to somebody or dating them, whatever that is, you're not going to always like them every day, Dano. And they're not always gonna like you every day. But that's just that day. Tomorrow it might be it should be a better day. Where everybody get their space and they get their time and they get an opportunity to reflect on how they feel, because communication is number one thing in a relationship. That's the number one thing in Dr. Michelle and my relationship is being able to communicate. And respect is so important in that, and your belief in things. I mean, it's kind of hard. And I'm not saying that it's impossible. If you got two people that believe their religion or whatever is totally opposite, completely opposite, and it's been like this for like 500,000 years, or listen to man, that you have to believe in the same thing in order to be able to come to decisions and common ground and being able to yoke. Remember, the yoke is the most important thing. Being able to yoke, even when you have disagreement, just like David just put down his solid rock.
Yeah,
it have to be a solid rock. It have to be because in the rock, meaning that when you get mad and you get pissed off, you can't just run out and leave.
Yeah, nope.
You do that temporarily, but if the person locked the door, change the lock, how you gonna get back in?
Yeah, and
You probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, trust me, I get that 100%, and it's so important too, because it's really about knowing the person, and don't rush just to get into any relationship. Like you said, you got to take your time and make sure that you're finding out about the other person. I know David Ramos, I know his wife very, very well. And I know what he means about being a solid rock, and they had just a great relationship, and you have a great relationship. And I feel like that's kind of maybe a lost art because of social media. And I just feel like the dynamic is a little different, but that is no reason to give up hope. You will find your soulmate. You just got to give it time and get to know the person. And Dr. James, with all of your businesses and nonprofits and everything that you own, I need you to give entrepreneurs that are watching right now I need you to give them 3 tips in order to have a successful business. What advice would you have to give for them? The top 3.
Okay, first of all, you have to have a positive mindset. If you're thinking negative, like I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I should do this. If you don't have a positive mindset that you can do anything that you set your mind to, if you don't feel that way inside, you probably don't need to even start nothing because you confused. And let me tell you something, Daniel. We all have what we call birthrights, right?
Mm-hmm.
Birthrights are confidence, courage, hope, belief, most importantly, faith. And I ain't got time to break all those down because they'll take up the rest of the show. But long as you have a positive mindset that you can do this, and people are going to always tell you that you cannot do this. You can't do that. You know why? You know why they tell you that?
Why is that?
You ever heard of the crab bucket syndrome?
Oh, crabs in a barrel. Yeah.
Yeah, crab bucket syndrome. Okay. Everybody, say Philly, say Chattanooga, wherever. Everybody happy to be in the same status, same situation. All of a sudden, Daniel, like, oh, you see a vision, you see this, and you're like, okay, I got to get away from this. And you start crawling up out the bucket. You stepping on people. Sometimes you have dummy, stepping on the crabs in order to get out. You get to the top, and the people down there are holding you. Oh, Daniel trying to leave. Oh, no, boom.
They bring you right back down.
So secondly, you have to be around positive people. Right mindset, be around positive folks that are going to help you out with your journey. And therefore, I mean, we all got friends and we all got all this other type of stuff. Sometimes everybody ain't your friend. They're your friend until they see you doing better.
Yeah.
And then you try to get out that bucket, they're gonna pull you down. Then you got to sneak. You're gonna continue to try to get out that bucket, Dano. You're gonna do it again. And every time you get pulled down, you're gonna be thinking of other ways of how to get out there. So next time you get to the top and you know that somebody down there going to try to pull you down. Then you moving around, you shaking your legs, you doing all this stuff, and you're moving up to the top. Next thing you know, you fall over.
Yeah.
Positive mindset. Success. Okay, I didn't mean to be so dramatic.
No, I love it. I love it. Keep it. Keep it up. High energy, but it's because you're passionate about it.
So, first one again, mindset. Change your mindset, whatever that. Second, surround yourself with positive people that believe in you, your ideals, that you can do anything that you set your mind to. Third, you have to have confidence.
I love it. Say it again, James. Say it, Dr. James. You got to have that confidence.
You have to have confidence in you. When they tell you, you cannot do this, Daniel, you can't. You look at them like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. Guess what? I tell that story because that's how, man, I came from the hood, bro. And they always said I wasn't going to amount to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 doctorates.
So this would be Dr. James Cooley. Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is long as you believe in yourself, long as you got that, long as you know the birthrights, confidence, courage, hope, belief, most important, faith, long as you don't lose. Third, long as you don't lose hope.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose hope, you have no faith. Keep that in mind.
I love that.
If you lose hope, you have no faith. And if you have no faith, you have no hope. Therefore, if you get energized on what other people think about you, you probably need to stay in that crab bucket.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody in that bucket gonna go nowhere, bro.
Nope.
I'll tell you what I just told you.
Yeah, well, I want to touch on that, what you said about having that, thick skin. Is the way that I can describe that is like when you're in the rain or you got a hose on a waterproof jacket, what does it do? It just rolls right off. And that's kind of what you need to have. You need to have waterproof skin where it just rolls right off for you and you don't absorb that energy. And then another thing that you said too was a lot of people said, oh, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be able to do that. And the reason that they probably said that is because they tried to do what you do, but it didn't work out for them. So they try to project that on you. You and I and that person, we're all completely different people. So just because it doesn't work out for you doesn't mean I'm going to get that same result. And I know there's like, oh, well, you shouldn't. The best way I can describe that is like, in college, there's a website called Rate My Professor. And what it is that the college students, after they take the class, they can go on to review their professor to say if they were a good professor or bad one. And a lot of the times you see the comments, they say, oh, well, I failed the class, so don't take it because I failed. Number one, don't try to steer me away from taking that class because I can succeed at it. And just because the bottom line is this, just because you had that experience doesn't mean that I'm going to have that same experience. So don't accept that from other people if they try to tell you that nonsense. I love that you bring that up, Dr. James. Now, what you have so many things going forward. Like you just said, you just received another award from last week. What can we expect going forward from Dr. James Cooley?
Well, got a couple of things. My publishing company, It's Your Life Media, It's Your Life Radio Media company, and where I got 2 books that's coming out, one coming out in April and one coming out in June. The June is a sequel of Country Boy, City Boy Journey that ain't over yet. And not just that, but we got several authors, aspiring authors that we that want to put books out. And so we bought the company. My wife and I bought our own publishing company. And we're just excited about that. Everything was transferred over, all my books transferred over to my company now, so I can re-release them and do some other things. Secondly, we have the It's Your Life Media Network, just like what you own, Trajectory TV. So my network debuts April the 1st.
Okay.
And we have at least 7 hosts already.
Oh, wow.
I still got room for 3 more hosts. And it's not that expensive. It's not that, but it's just that on my network, I have to know. I mean, just get an opportunity to know them because I have to believe in them. They have to be outstanding. Outstanding means character.
Mm-hmm.
Character is everything. So we got the publishing company, Cooley Books, that we just finalized, and so we got and my books are going to be coming out there and other author books. We got It's Your Life Media Network television, and so that's April the 1st. We got a tour. We got tours where I'm working with this organization called Africa Link, and we are going to, beginning in April, May, we're going to be traveling the 55 countries of Africa, and most of the stuff that we're going to be doing is we change nations. We change nations because if you know anything about Africa, then they consider those 55 countries third world. We need to go over there and bring hope to them, and we need to encourage. We need to educate. We need to enlighten them. So all of these things is things that we are going to be doing to ensure that we bring passion, and we let people know about purpose.
Yeah. And I just wanted to show everybody with this too, in case you want to go check out some more Dr. James Cooley. There he is with that bright smile, man. It's Your Life Radio.
It's Your Life Radio YouTube channel.
Yep, and that's just the YouTube, but you broadcast on so many other.
Yeah, we're live on radio. We live on Twitter. We live on LinkedIn. We live on 25 different things at the same time. It's just God is good, man. I contribute all of that to being able to be grounded, being able to understand that the more you give, the more of a servant you are, the more He gonna pour into you. And it's just I don't know how to say it any other way, Daniel, but that's just how it is, man.
I love it. Yeah, and it's the truth. And if it's your truth, I can resonate with that same truth as well. Is because once you deliver that service and you put your service above self or service before self, then everything will come to you tenfold. And it's just all about operating in love, because when you start to operate in that service and you're doing it for other people, you start to feel good. And when you feel good, I'm going to bring it back to the vibrations, because we are vibrational beings. You're elevating at a high vibration. And I bring this up. I bring this up pretty often, but I'm going to show it again if you guys are watching for the first time. Here it is. When you do things for other people, you have that peace, you have that joy, and you have that love. That's when you have that expanded vibrations and higher things. So positive things will start to happen to you in your life. But if you're doing things from a place of greed and control and just only trying to benefit yourself and stepping on other people along the way, it's not going to work out in the way that you think. And I want to bring that up for people that are actually doing that in the world with social media. It may seem like they're winning at that time, where you can have a person that who is a POS, and they're still achieving all these great things. All of that stuff is temporary. And number one, and number two, just because it's on social media doesn't mean that it's real as well. So let's get out of that mindset and just say, okay, once we start to do things for other people and be of service, that's when all the great things will start to flow into our life. So Dr. James, you know how it is. The show we're going to be ending in a few minutes, but we always wrap up the show with the same exact question every single time. And here it is. So if somebody's watching this right now and they're going through their deepest, darkest times, what advice would you have to give to these people in order to get out of that dark moment in time?
Well, I would like to say, and this is my motto: life is filled with circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are the things that shape us to be the person that we're going to be. So we have to go through the struggle time, because if you're going through it, keep going. Keep going. Keep moving forward. It's not always going to be rainy, or if you just like with Jesus on the boat with the 12 disciples, and Jesus laid down to take a nap, and the water was going crazy, and all the disciples, the 12, oh, he brought us out here to kill us. And so he over there laying down, they came and they woke him up and said, you brought us out here to kill us. He looked at them and said, told the water to calm. The water calmed down. He looked at him again and went back over there to take a nap. Then next thing, when he took a nap, the water still got back up, but it wasn't as rough. My thing is that you got to always maintain the faith. And just because you're going through it now, a lot of times, if you don't learn from what you're going through, when it happened again, you won't be able to understand. So focus is key. Focus is key in everything that you do. And just always keep in mind that it's not always going to be this way. Weather the storm and just maintain a positive attitude, because our Lord and Savior got plans, and He has your purpose in mind. You have to fulfill your purpose in order before you leave this earth.
I love it. And you know what? I couldn't have said it better myself. And it's faith, having that faith is so important. And if you don't have that, like you said, you don't really have much. So always keep that, and understand too that whatever it is that you're going through your life is always going to benefit you, and it's there to serve you. Whether you may not understand it at that time, you may not understand it a week from that point, or even a year from that point, but understand, if you set that intention, like we said, in the affirmations for happiness earlier, when you set that intention to say, okay, this stuff is working out for me, even if I can't see it right now, it's always for my greatest good, then you have that positive motivation, and you understand that you can get through anything it is that you need to get through in your life, whether it's, a flat tire, something that's more extreme. Whatever it is, you're going to push through it. And look at the journey. Look at how far you've come, and look at the things you've overcome in the past. And if you can overcome those things and you're still standing tall, that means you have a lot more work to do. Like Dr. James says, And it just really shows you that you can get through anything in your life, but you just got to have that positive mindset, and it's all going to work out in our favor. So if you guys want to connect with Dr. James, is right here. You can reach out. He has so many connectors, but we only chose for the JC Cooley Foundation. It's Your Life Radio. That was the YouTube channel that we showed. The James Cooley Show, and the CooleyFoundation.org. If you want to help out with this nonprofit, which you should. And yeah, with Dr. James, thank you so much for coming on today. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. Like I said, I want to plug this in here one more time because it is happening this Saturday. Here it is, Live Pro Wrestling, EWA's Honor and Glory. I will be there on the 25th. Doors open at 4. If you know somebody in the Camden area that wants to attend, let them know, share it, and do whatever you got to do to make sure that you have a great, positive weekend. Stay safe, everybody, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Dr. James, thank you again. Peace, everybody.
Thank you.